So when we look at Osiris and the seat of judgment and the funerary processions are essential to understanding the migrations of the ancients who circumnavigated the earth following the soul, the sun, through the tropics. This is the funerary processions. When we look at the parades of Carnival and the marching of the saints and the following of the suns across the Pacific, these ancient navigators here from the eastern border of the Pacific followed this star constellation of Osiris, Orion. This is why we call these lands the Orient, to be crowned in their return again as another year as kings. We understand a race. They usually say, on your mark, get set, go. So the marking that was placed upon Cain. Cain is one of the first people in the scriptures, the biblical text that we see get placed with the mark. And these people are known as the Orient. Cain builds the first city for his son Enoch. So we understand Teotihuacan, Tinoch, Tizlan, and these lands here, and the significance of the autumnal equinox and what takes place during the time of Virgo, the mother, the fertility. So we understand Estera, Easter, and the mother of the east, the golden mother, that's when we look at the oracle bone script, Ama, and the Amazon in this region of the Virgo here in the Amazonian region in the south, and how these navigations and calculations that formed our calendar today, starting from September, the scepter, the seventh month, where we find the different feasts of Rosh Hashanah, to cross over from the following this stellar mythos of Orion, Osiris, the southern crossing, into this land of Oceania, which we find Ocane and the winter. So when we look at Orion, known as Shin, we understand Shin, the sharp one, and Sudupu in the west, the great hunter, and the significance of the constellation of Orion's belt and the club, and how these mythos were taught even through Chinese culture, as I mentioned, when you look at the Shin and which consisted of 10 stars, and the term Austral, the walking at dawn, Orion, tomorrow, and Easter Island, the dawn, Eden, the place, the guardian of Eden. So when we look at the protection and the guardians of Eden, of pleasure, and these lands of the Pacific, and these islands that were flooded with water after the melting of the ice age, whose tectonic plates are sinking. So when we look at the Sedona plate and these regions of 180 degrees, right, where we find the southern crossing of this constellation, the Stella Orion. So this is the significance of Sagittarius and the Capricorn, but also the duality of the twins between Tammuz and this particular time of the winter solstice. So the ancient Egyptians were one of the first to write about Orion and the places of his mythology. So we look at Abydos, and even in the Greek culture, Hell, right? In the Greek mythology, the dog star, Sirius star, and Anubis, Canaan. So we look at Okana and the protectors, the hunters of this star constellation that you see in the heavens were manifested throughout different texts to explain this beginning of this crossing of fertility and the rains and the wet season which has begun.